wait.
Boom. I just think it's funny. I think it's funny that we never stop laughing about the same dumb stuff. What are we going to
Yeah.
do?
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
We're old
happens.
men.
It happens.
We're,
We both are dads, and
yeah.
some people could think this is kind of a dad joke,
Of
but
course,
that's
it's a
fine.
dad joke.
I,
Everything's a
I, I
dad joke now.
I'm in peace. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. How are you, my
So
friend?
I'm good. Speaking of peace, ouch. Wow. Sunday was a scorcher.
Hey, okay. Wait a minute. I have to confess a couple things.
Uh-oh.
The first one is that I heard the first half of your sermon.
Hmm.
The other half I didn't hear it. And
No.
but I saw a story on Instagram telling something about
Mopping my floor?
a place. So
Yeah.
I can accept that you are not super orthodox, talking about God and this panentheistic point of view, and
Yeah.
also your perspective in theology. Yeah, I can. Yeah, okay, I can
You're with me.
stand.
You're with me on that. But,
I'm with you in that. Yeah,
but,
but oh my man,
listen.
we
Okay.
need to believe in hell.
We do?
We need yeah, and we need to believe in Satan too. We need to believe in so many things.
Yeah, we need to create all these spaces so that we don't have to face them in ourselves.
Oh,
Hang on. So we don't have to face
preach.
them in ourselves, the devil, and so that we don't have to face the
Oh,
the bad institutional spaces we create of poverty and want and scarcity, hell. We have to externalize them so that we don't have to face those things in us and in the worlds that we create. Except we're both being tongue in cheek here, right? We're both just so listen, nobody, I say this every week, nobody watches this anyway, so we can say what we need to here. Let me tell you,
people
yeah,
does.
people do. Okay, all right, I'll take your word for it. Um, it was a tiny thing. Listen, remember when you're doing spiritual work among people who come to church on Sunday, it's a tiny, tiny portion of people moving about the world. So it's not as if an announcement like this or saying something like this in church is like this earth-shattering event. We're just a small group of people in South Austin, right?
Right,
But it felt
right.
liberating to me to finally be able to say, I do not accept the doctrine of hell. It was taught to me as this concrete thing that was unquestionable. It created enormous trauma and pain and
Enormous.
fear. And the sermon wasn't about hell so much as the
I
sermon
know.
was about
Yeah, I know.
fear. And the point of fear is that I think it's designed and it's used by the institutional faiths. I won't even say Christianity because it's used by all of us. It's
Yeah,
designed
right,
to get us to comply with certain expected levels of human behavior. And it's time for us to acknowledge that that's not the work of the gospel. The work of the
right.
gospel is to set us free. And so, there's 5 or 6 ideas in the scriptures that all refer to what we call hell in our English translations. And sometimes in a good, more modern translation, they'll have it coded so you'll be able to see, is it the Greek idea of Hades? Is it Sheol? Is it Gehenna? Is it Abaddon? Is it the lake of fire?
Right.
And those 6 concepts are one thing. And then there's all these other ideas about the pit or destruction or isolation or all these other things. I think,
I think. Well, of course, I was just kidding around
you're
with
being sarcastic.
my
Yeah.
yeah, being sarcastic. But I can't understand why people so angry when we trying to defeat hell. It's like they want the heaven for them, but that is not enough. We need the
Yeah.
hell to serve our enemies and the people
Yeah.
from the wrong party or something like that.
That's right. That's right.
It's
That's
like,
right.
oh my goodness.
Well,
Yeah.
we also need hell to scare our teenagers and adolescents, to scare them about sexuality and the body, and to put lots of
Yeah.
shame in them. We need hell to be able to say, if a bus hits you tonight, are you sure you'd go to heaven? So that you can confess all the things that you did. Here's the
Tell me,
problem
tell
with
me.
fear. Here's the problem with fear. It works.
It works
It
a lot.
it
It's
it
so effective.
works. That's right. And it will never create heart transformation. And that's the work
That's
of
right.
Jesus.
That's
So leftover so I woke up Monday morning and I was waiting for my phone to blow up. people to call and say, or to text and say, that's it, we're done, we're leaving the church. We have to have a hell full of the people we don't like, or else we're leaving the church. But not surprisingly, my community didn't respond that way. I got more feedback, positive feedback from people saying, thank you for saying what we've always thought. And that's kind of the prevailing sensation that I get after having these kinds of hard conversations.
Do you know the story? Yeah, probably you know that story about the naked king
Yes,
that
the
was
emperor's
used to
clothes.
okay, that's the name in English, used to dress a fancy thing, oh yeah, I can see that, but in the deepest of their hearts everybody knew that
Yeah,
wasn't right. And when
yeah,
we talk with the right people about these topics, it's like,
yeah,
yeah, we knew that the king was naked, and
yeah.
but
That's right.
now they feel like, oh yeah, it's a relief
Yeah,
that finally I can say it.
yeah, they feel less crazy.
Right,
Listen, there's nothing good about storming around the world and telling people that they're going to this place of eternal conscious bodily torture. That's a created concept. There's nothing good news or gospel centric about going around the world and telling people that if they don't see the way you see the world, if they don't do things the way you do, if they don't believe what you do, then they're going to go there.
right.
That's actually, let's be social scientists for a second. It's actually not even effective. It doesn't
It
even
is not.
it's not, it doesn't transform hearts, right? So
Yeah,
all that to say, these metaphors from the Stone Age imagination that see these polarities and these binaries and these zero sum decisions between this and that, all of those things I think we need to be questioning. I think what
right,
survives this kind of faith deconstruction is a loving God who's infinitely involved everywhere. I don't think we need to cast our neighbors to hell because they vote for a different political party in order to feel well and in order to
right.
be okay in the world. And so I'm just going to step out there and say, let's just call some of this stuff what it is, And we're not
Right.
going here next. We're going to take a little gentle curve next. So we're done with the where to next A and C. But there's another subject that's floating out in my consciousness that I would like to pull down into words one day. And that is that it's so easy and it's so lazy. And I mean the word lazy. It's so lazy to attribute everything inconvenient in our lives to a devil. I just watched both of the Brian Houston, or I should, both of the Hillsong documentaries. And listen, if you're going to be a swindler, then have a really big theology about the devil, because when the law comes after you for whatever or when the tax evaders or the
You
tax
always can blame
attorneys
the
come after you,
devil.
you always can say, I'm driving a Rolls Royce, and if you don't like it, it's the devil attacking me. Listen, guys, these are ancient ways of looking down inside ourselves, and with no language to understand
Right.
neuroscience or the human psyche, we externalize everything in a way that makes sense for us. And so we have a devil who is in charge of a hell. And the truth of the matter is we know different things now. Now, if you go to your Google bar and you search, what did Jesus say about hell? You will find things in the scriptures in the New
For sure.
Testament.
And
That's right.
that's one of the arguments of some people that, oh, but Jesus talks about hell.
But Jesus does not speak of eternal conscious bodily torture. Not
Right.
one time. Do a deep dive. Listen, I'm not asking
I know.
everyone to agree with me. If you need a hell to feel good, that's fine. Hang on to your hell. That's fine. Uh, but what
Go
I'm
to
telling
hell.
you, that's right. Oh no, we're breaking rules. You're
I'm
gonna get
sorry.
this classified E.
I'm sorry.
And
Esto es
yeah,
porque soy latino.
because you're Latin American.
Yeah, I don't understand, the nuances of the language. So it's like sometimes I maybe I misspoke some stuff.
No.
I don't know. Sorry.
Listen, bottom line, I gotta rock it. I got a full day, but here's the thing, guys. I'm not asking you to take out of the language of the scriptures all references to hell. I'm asking you to look at the
Right.
scriptures and compare that to what we know to be true about God in Jesus Christ. And if a cruel, violent, demanding, never content God emerges from the scriptures, then go back down in it until you find love and mercy and hope in Jesus. Now, the gospel writers wrote the stories we have of Jesus. Jesus didn't write these stories. We don't know what by the fourth or fifth decade after he died, we don't know what the thinking was. We know Greek ideas and Roman ideas and ancient
Right.
ideas surface. Here's what we need to reconcile. All things theological must find their place under our Christology. And if what we know to be true about God Christologically, right, through the lens of Christ, is that God loves the world and he loves all of the world, then ideas and ancient metaphors from the Stone Age just don't need to travel with us through time if they don't work anymore. And for me, they don't. So there it is. We're on
I,
record.
I love it. I love it.
All right, bro. Love you, man. I hope you're good down there in your winter. Eat up your winter. We're on like the millionth day of 110 up here, so
Oh,
we'll be fine.
talking about hell, maybe Texas during these days is a proof of that. You have a lot- you're
We're getting
super
we're getting
hot.
hell. We're getting it all out of the way, bro. Because listen, you'll have to go through purgatory because you live in a temperate climate, but not us. All right, brother.
Love you,
Fist
bro.
bumps. We'll see you. You too, man.
Boop, boop. Oh my